guys, welcome back to Geekly Goods, y'all. I am joined by a very special guest, my bro, my homie, my guy Elliott from over at Hakuna MaChatter. Elliott, how you doing this Easter Sunday? Happy Easter to you, my friend.
Happy Easter, Mr. Leo Rydell. I'm very good, thank you. Very good. You know me. I'm always super stoked to come over here and chat MCU, and in particular, chat Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, man, yeah, this is going to be a great conversation talking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, what we think so far, man. Dude, it has been quite a series so far. Like, just kind of overall thoughts. What do you think of the series so far? How you liking it? I don't want to compare WandaVision right now, but what do you think about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're right. You're right, like not to compare to WandaVision because it's a very, very different type of show. Mm-hmm. And I think what a lot of people have said, like how it's harkening a bit back to Winter Soldier, the film. And I think certainly in the episode 3, it felt, with Zemo coming back in, there felt a lot of like Civil War stuff coming in there as well. So yeah, man, I'm feeling it. It's nice. It's kind of got this vibe to it where it certainly feels like it is carrying on that Captain America plot line through the film, through the MCU so far, but it is evolving past that into its own beast, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of finally come to that wave because, the first episode, we kind of still felt the repercussions of what happened after Endgame, and it kind of just felt like a bit of a continuation, but now we're finally starting to grow and shape our own destinies here in these characters. And, man, those first 2 episodes, so solid. And not to say the third episode just wasn't as strong as the first 2, but man, especially that second episode, getting Isaiah Bradley in the series, getting to see the unfortunate racism that occurs every day for Black men. Even if you do carry a mantle, you're still going to get pulled over. You're still going to get stopped, but still just such a great job of the MCU of incorporating that into this series, something that they haven't really danced on a lot. I mean, they really just have grazed over it, and that's because a lot of their characters haven't been of color. Like a lot of their main characters, their main 4 Avengers were all white guys. So now we can explore these layers now that we have characters that are from different backgrounds. So I want to specifically talk about episode 2 and your thoughts on that, and Isaiah Bradley popping up in the series because we talked about that.
Yeah. Leo was over on Hakuna MaChatter, and we had a big, long discussion. You guys can check that out after this. And Leo, you correctly predicted that Isaiah Bradley's got to show up, right? Because, Sam needs, I think certainly the journey Sam's going through, he needs to understand that it is, of course, more than possible for him to be Captain America. It's happened before, but what he can now do with that is he can bring that into the mainstream and the forefront and be, he has the potential to be a leader, definitely. And definitely this version of Sam Wilson. So I think, Steve already saw it in him, and he just now needs to see it in himself. And hopefully, we'll see Isaiah Bradley return so that Sam can kind of get that confidence within himself and get that familiarity from Isaiah as well. And, something we also said in that discussion video, and which is another reason why I'm saying hopefully Isaiah comes back, is that, we're hoping that Isaiah isn't going to be used specifically as a magical Negro within this. And, I'm hoping not, I think it might have already negated that straight away with the fact that he, has rejected their help, but we've learned about his story. We've learned about what he's come from. He's not just popped up and gone, Sam, it's time you learn.
Right.
So yeah,
he hasn't necessarily painted a clear yellow path for him to follow. Exactly. And I think that when we had our discussion on your channel, that was one thing that you were very worried about, and I was too. It was that we don't want him to show Sam the way necessarily. We don't want him to paint this beautiful path for him in order to say, here's how you become Captain America. Here's how I did it. Here's how you could do it. Because that is magical Negro. But I think I really like the tension in that episode. I like that it's realistic. He wasn't like, oh, I was psyched to become a super soldier and oh man, like I'm out here kicking butt. Like, no, it was like very, because that super soldier program that he was involved with is that is exact Marvel just actually portraying the Tuskegee experiments. That is them bringing that on screen. So that would not be an enjoyable experience. It wouldn't be like, hey, I'm Steve Rogers and I'm out here. Like, no, that man was forced into that program. So for them to like bust into his house, not bust into his house, but come into his house and have this confrontation with him, he doesn't want to be a part of this. Like, let's be real. Exactly. He wants it as far away as possible. But we got a couple people in the chat. Andrew said, Happy Easter. Thank you, my friend. Candid Cinema said, good morning. Good morning to you and Happy Easter.
Good morning.
Yeah, but I mean, man, episode 2, what an episode. I mean, it just it does such a good job of incorporating real world racist issues into the show. And just the line that got me was, is he bothering you, sir? When he turned to Bucky and he's like, is he bothering you? And Bucky's like, do you know who he is? Like, this man has saved your life.
Yeah.
And it
and
just, go ahead.
That's the funny thing in it as well. Like, you know, Bucky's obviously, because Bucky doesn't understand that, you know, he's not lived to see that, you know. I'm sure it might have been there was obviously racism when he would have been in his youth and alive and whatnot. He may not have seen it then either, but you know, he's not seen it in the modern world. He's not seen how it's acted upon in the modern world. And I think that was really, you know, it really showed. And so when he says that line, do you know who this is? For Sam, it's like, that shouldn't matter. This is the issue, Bucky. It shouldn't matter who I am. This just shouldn't be happening, full stop. And I thought that was, because I'm pretty sure like the camera cut to Sam, we see Sam's reaction to be like, dude.
It doesn't matter who I am. It shouldn't. And at that point, it's like, you shouldn't just stop me because of how I look.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and it's like, whether I'm a cop as well or it doesn't matter. Shouldn't be stopped. Like, like, come on, man. But kind of turning the tides a little bit here. We talked about this a little bit before the stream. What's up with the Flag Smashers, man? Like, seriously, they're not interesting. We haven't gotten a really good layer or story to them at all.
No.
What the heck, man? Like, are you interested in them at all?
Like, I am. I'm interested on the concept, you know, of that, you know. I mean, obviously from the comics, like, their whole thing is that they don't believe in borders and that the world should just be kind of united and one. And then in here, it's a case of wanting to get life back to how it was in the interim of the blip. So, you know, that the concept is really interesting, and I'd love to see more. And also the fact that they all have taken this new super soldier serum as well. But I just, it feels, even though I've just been able to articulate what it seems their goal is, it doesn't feel like that is centered within anything that they're currently doing at all. And so it feels a bit odd right now, and I'm a bit confused. And you know, as I said just before we started live, I was like, and it's annoying because they've got some good actors in there. Like Erin Kellyman is, you know, she's a great up and coming young actress, and the guy that was acting with her in all the scenes in episode 3, you know, I thought he was brilliant. The Asian Australian actor, I thought he absolutely killed it. And I think, you know, he was I felt through him that there was a bit more life to the Flag Smashers, but then it never really evolved in that episode. And yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping we'll get to know a bit more about them in the 4th episode so that we set up for a cool final 2 episodes. But yeah, it's a bit weak. It's the weakest part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, man, you articulated the Flag Smashers better than they have themselves in the show. Like, being honest with you, I'm like, that is such a good point, because their actions don't really reflect what you just said. Like, them trying to restore their lives to before the blip. I see it a little, but they're not really showing me what I need to see. They're showing me specific, like, little cuts of, like I was saying, Carly, the character, mourning over somebody who is possibly passing away. Who is that? Why are you fighting for them? Why are we getting these resources? What is the big picture goal for the Flag Smashers? They really haven't said. And, you know, you've got all these people taking the serum. That's a cool way to involve it. And it does have this, you know, Robin Hood-esque, rob from the rich, give to the poor, restore balance type of vibe to it. And I like that. I like that idea. I just don't think it's being well executed right now. And it's just kind of dragging the show down a little bit right now. But we do got 3 more episodes. So maybe in the next few, we'll potentially see them start to develop a little bit, because it was just like, man, you had this big hulking guy in the first episode who like rains down from 3 stories high, smashes into the ground, and then he sacrifices himself at the end of the episode. And I'm like, wait, you could like take the ground, but you couldn't like take all these guys. I don't know. That was a little bit fun, little off for me.
And we were like, I was having a conversation with a couple of pals last night, and they're saying like, well, that guy did was push over an electric pole, like a wooden, and then that was it. And it was like, you got this big old super soldier serum. Like, why are you not picking that thing up and like throwing it at the cars? Like, it just kind of felt a bit like, what is? Because, but here's the thing, like, was that to say like, you know, we're not here to hurt you, but you ain't gonna stop us, sort of thing. But it's like, but then if they're supposed to be villains, it's like, I'm wondering, you know, where's the villain coming from? So because right now, these guys are just tame, like
it's like pick up a car, man. Like at this point, you got the super soldier serum. You could jump 3 stories high. You know good and well he can lift that car. Pick up the car and throw it at the guys or something. Like he literally willingly sacrificed himself and didn't have to. So for me, I almost was like, okay, was that supposed to be like kind of poetic, or like what were we trying to portray there? I just couldn't understand where they were trying to go with that. It just it felt a little off, but maybe we'll get a little bit more of them in the next upcoming episodes. Hopefully. Chat is booming a little bit. Hey there, JHC. Good happy Easter, you guys. We got Ren Geekness. What up, buddy?
Oh, Ren.
Good to see you, brother. He's the homie, man. Getting intense solo Star Wars story vibes from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and it's not just the Enfys Nest actress solos, but overall I like the series for what it is. I mean, overall it's a good series. I wanted to touch on your video, Elliott, because it's actually not something I really thought about until I saw your video, and I was like,
sure,
dang, how did I not really think about this? But giving a white man the shield when the black man was the one that had it first. Sam was the one who had it, gave it to the Smithsonian, and then you give it to John Walker.
Yeah.
White supremacy. I mean,
well, here, isn't it?
Because I
don't necessarily think that the appointment of John Walker himself was the white supremacy. I think that, you know, if the government are going to go behind Sam's back, which, you know, that's what gives us a story. You know, kind of, I quite like that happened because it gives us a story. But what they're going to do is that what makes it, for me, made it the white supremacy is that they were only ever going to choose a white guy,
right?
And maybe it's the case, you know, and because Sam had given the shield up, you know, of course they were never going to go to him and go, look, are you sure? Like, you know, like, we're happy to make you Captain America. Like, you know, they have plausible deniability of saying, well, you gave it up, so of course we weren't going to come to you for it. So, you know, I don't think it's a case of doing anything against Sam, but I think it's a case of, if they're going to do it, they're only ever going to put a white guy to do it. You know, they're never going to put anyone else there.
They're not going to give it to Hoskins. Like,
no, exactly. And I think, you know, it comes a sort of an unconscious bias, but that feeds into the overall thing of white supremacy. So,
and it's crazy that, like, you know, they give it to John Walker and he's got a black guy on his side as well. It's Hoskins. It's like,
I mean, well, this is it. Yeah. And I think that's when it then leads into it, you know, when particularly that moment in episode 2 when they're in the Jeep and he's like, look, I'm Captain America, I need my wingman. And it's like, you know, and as I say in the video, and as Sam just says at that moment, it's always that last line. You know, it's like you've just taken it, you know, we maybe could have worked with each other, but you will only ever see me as a second to Captain America. And you know what? The Captain America is gone, and we're the ones doing this now. And if I'm doing this, I'm not second fiddle. I'm a leader, but I'm leading in my own right. Yeah.
And what's so like crazy about that, about the Captain America being gone, is you could just feel it. I mean, John Walker is not Captain America. He's literally grabbing guys by the collar in episode 3. Do you know who I am? Like, nah, man. Like, look, you ain't the Juggernaut. You don't need to be dropping lines like that. Him just pulling.
I'm just loving that reference.
It's like you're just pulling a dude like into his face. That's not Captain America. Cap doesn't do that. And he says bullshit, and then the dude spits in his face. There's not even any respect. That wouldn't even happen if it was a Steve Rogers encounter. Like it's just like, dude, John Walker, you can already kind of see that he's slipping a little bit. And the fact that he kind of has a resume even is like, dude, this mantle is not something that could just be passed down to the everyman who, fought in a couple of battles and wars. And like, no, this is for somebody like Sam Wilson, who was at the front lines fighting against Thanos, fighting against the world's greatest threats. This is for somebody who can carry along that mantle of Captain America, somebody that the entire country and world can look up to. John Walker's not that guy.
No, well, and I'm wondering if that's going to hopefully play into the elaboration then of the Flag Smashers, because definitely this Captain America, the initial Captain America, though he had that American symbol, I kind of felt that he was very much a symbol for the world, whereas this John Walker is very much a symbol for America. And so I can hopefully that will evolve into some great tension between him and the Flag Smashers, because, they're very much like, you only fight for America, while we fight for everyone. And, are they just going to kind of go to blows and then, Bucky and Sam kind of have to clear up the pieces in the end. Yeah. I know. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. And what's it, you kind of make that really nice point about that Sam was there. He's in the thick of it. He was right there. And I think that's kind of the same, it kind of plays into that idea of like when John Walker also says in episode 2, and he says, I've worked hard to get to this position. And, Sam's like, yeah, but you've not gone through any of the shit I've gone through, and you still get all the fun, I gave it up because I can't beat, there's no way I'll be allowed to be that. But you fight in the US military and then suddenly you're Captain America. What?
Right. Come on now.
What is it people like to say? Quite interesting. Quite interesting.
That was quite the interesting comment, my man. It's just like, for real, but this is a good one from Elevators Not Worthy. It says, John Walker said that he isn't Tony Stark or Dr. Banner. And I was like, you're not even Clint Humber yourself. It's like, for real. You're not even That's Clint, brilliant. Man. Like, let's be real here. Yeah. JHC here predicts that Zemo is going to try to kill the Flag Smashers and everyone else who used the serum. Zemo, it's interesting because he's presented to us now as helping Sam and Bucky. And in this episode, there's a really fun dynamic between the 3 actors. But let's be real here. This is Zemo. This is Baron Zemo. He's going to betray them. He's scheming behind the scenes, mopping something up. I totally think what he's going to do is he's going to bring the flag smashers, Captain America and Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're all going to have to duke it out. I mean, at this point, it's like he's pulling the puppet strings already. He might even be working with Sharon.
I mean, it's his MO, isn't it, to pull them strings. I was wondering who the power broker is. And at the end of the episode, when Sharon jumped into that limo, I mean, I don't know Power Broker from the comics, if that is a comic book character, but I got real vibes that she is the Power Broker.
So I've been hearing
the right-hand man,
Yeah, I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that theory that she's potentially the Power Broker. There's 2 Power Brokers in the comics, and they're not like major characters or anything, so I had no idea who they were. I had to go look them up, but
right.
I almost, and Ren Geekness, if he's still here, he brought this up yesterday on a stream.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's Baron Zemo, if he is potentially
he is
the power broker, because I know the power broker has been referenced around him and things like that, but I don't foresee it being just a random person. And if it is, I think I'm cool with it if it is, but I think it's somebody within this circle. And obviously it can't be Bucky or Sam. I don't know if it's Sharon. I don't know if I guess I just can't really see her going against Steve to that layer. But if she's working with Zemo, I wouldn't put it past her. I just can't see her as being like the main one. I hope Sharon is White Tiger. I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. Even if the power broker is just a random person, depending on where they go with it, if they bring in one more person, they're starting to get a little heavy here. Yeah. Because then you've got Zemo, the Flag Smashers, Sharon possibly coming back. When are we going to get back to Bucky and Sam?
Yeah, right. And now we've also got the Wakandans are now involved as well. So, I mean, that was a great way to finish the episode. Don't get me wrong. And it threw me for a loop as well because I didn't recognize the kimono beads at first. I didn't recognize them as kimono beads. I thought it was, something that that Bucky was thinking that Zemo was dropping along the route. But once that one was lodged into the wall, of course, it was a bit, okay, there's no way Zemo was able to lodge that into a wall,
right?
Walking in between them, dropping one on the floor, sure. But so I was like, okay, that's okay. This just got very interesting now. Like,
right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset I didn't recognize that. Like, I was like, oh, man.
Right, I'm just going to adjust my light a bit here. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was Nick Fury, man. I was like, is it Fury? Is it... Who is it, man? Maria Hill? Like, who are we working with here? And then just to see AO, man. Oh, my God. So amazing. Yeah. Like, and apparently... Tessa from Mama's Geeky, I was on her stream yesterday, and she said that supposedly it was supposed to be Chadwick Boseman in that part. Right. Oh, my God.
We'll never know.
That would have been incredible. Rest in peace, man. But, geez, that would have been...
I mean, I like AO, but it could, it could also have been a really good opportunity to have brought Nakia back. Lupita Nyong'o, considering she's a spy, and she's covert in that way. I thought that, obviously it depends on if Lupita Nyong'o was available, which clearly she wasn't. But,
right. Do you think that would have been too big of a character, though?
I don't think so. I think because she wasn't in Infinity War or Endgame, and
that's true.
As I say, like this kind of mission would be her MO. So I think it would have been just a nice little. Hey, you're still here. Yeah. But, I mean, for me, it would have worked. I don't think. If it had been like Shuri or Okoye, then that would have been too big a character. Definitely, that would have pulled too much focus. But Nakia just would have been like a nice callback.
Yeah, like, gosh, I didn't even think about that. We haven't seen her since Black Panther.
Yeah, seriously.
Where's she been? Like, where you been, Nakia?
Yeah. Some big old aliens came to Wakanda and you weren't there. Like, what's going on?
Like, what are you? and she just shows up. I've been here the whole time. Yeah, okay. Sure. Man. But Sam and Bucky, you could slowly start to see them getting closer and closer as friends.
Yeah.
And there's still that tension there because Sam doesn't want to pick up the shield. Bucky wants him to pick it up real bad because it's almost like he feels insignificant without the shield being around and being represented in his life in some way.
Yeah.
But I like where they're going with that dynamic, how, you've got the bickering and you've got them just kind of going back and forth, but they really do care about each other. When Bucky turned into the Winter Soldier, Sam was like, you all right?
Yeah.
It's like they're finally starting to kind of connect the dots with those two because there was some mad tension in that first episode, and the therapy session in episode 2 revealed a lot of things.
Yeah.
How do you think the dynamic between those two is going in the show? And do you feel like 3 was too big of a departure from, those two being in the spotlight? Because we did get Zemo, we did get Sharon, they're going after the power broker, things like that. Does it seem like a little too busy in episode 3, or are we still on the right track?
No, I think we're on the right track. I guess what makes it feel a departure, or maybe makes it feel like we're kind of introducing too much is that, we know we've only got 6 episodes, and so we're halfway through. But I think that because the episodes are of the length that they are, we have time to sort of settle in. We've had here's where Sam and Bucky are now.
Mhm.
Here they're now together. Okay, now we're just going to bring in Zemo to kind of, I guess Zemo's maybe that introduction of something that will, that there's still something bigger than their relationship. There's still a bigger mission, and so that they will still kind of work quite solidly together in that respect. So no, I didn't mind it. I was quite happy to delve into Zemo a bit, because I think he's certainly one of my more favorite of the MCU villains, and I absolutely adore Daniel Bruhl. I think he's just an amazing actor.
Oh, he's so good.
I know a lot of people have kind of been saying, oh, if you like him in this, make sure you go and watch Rush. And I'm like, yeah, he is brilliant in Rush. It is one of his finest performances.
Damn right.
People really also need to check out Goodbye Lenin as well, which, if you haven't seen, is fantastic. It's set in Germany in the 80s, and he lives in East Germany, so when it was communist Germany. And his mum's in an accident, and she's in a coma in the hospital. She wakes up. Well, while she's in the coma, the Berlin Wall falls. And so, then Germany becomes united again. But the doctor warns Daniel Bruhl's character, the son, look, don't, she can't find out, because if she gets, if her heart rate goes too high, she's going to have another heart attack. And this time it might be fatal, And so he then goes through this whole film of trying to hide the fact that Germany is unified again after the communism. So,
snap.
It's just brilliant. It's just so good.
Wow, that sounds packed with emotional adrenaline, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah. Emotion, great comedy, and he's so young in it as well, but he's so brilliant. Like, he does such a great job.
Did you know he did the German voice for Cars of Lightning McQueen? No idea till yesterday.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh. And he looks so young, and he's like in a picture next to Lightning McQueen. He looks 15, dude. He's like 23 or something. But I'm like, geez, he looks so young.
Oh, mate, he'll look younger than he'll look really young then to you in Goodbye Lenin. Let me find what year that came out quick.
Oh man, because I'm not used to Zemo looking young like that, bro. Like, what?
Okay, that was 2003, Goodbye Lenin.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to look super duper young, because I think Cars was also 03.
I just checked, Cars was 06, so it was
06, okay.
Only 3 years difference, so, but then I guess, Goodbye Lenin, if it came out 03, depending on when, it probably might have filmed in 02, so, who knows?
Right, it's like, geez, he looked super young back then. This was a funny comment. Does it annoy anyone else that John Walker calls Bucky?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Straight up. It's too much of an attempt to be friendly, and it's just not working.
Yeah, and I just think he's trying to demand respect from people, and it's just like, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, you weren't there, man. You weren't there. If you were there side by side with everybody else on the front lines, and maybe you'd be able to call Bucky. But let's not get too friendly and all this. Oh, like, let's be friends type stuff. Because let's be real, he wants them to call him Captain America and to address him as Captain America. And that's why I do like the opening piece in this episode, in episode 3, where he's like confronting that guy, because it just shows that he wants to be addressed as Captain America, but it's just not going to happen. Not even from a villain standpoint. And a villain is not going to care who you are.
Yeah.
You could be anyone. Chillmonger says, so call him James.
Yeah. Or Barnes. Just be like kind of like dick informal and just call them by their surname.
Exactly. You could just go military style. Barnes. Boom.
Barnes. Yeah, Barnes. Yeah. But I think someone pointed out something really interesting in episode 2. I've not gone back to rewatch, but I think, please someone correct me if I'm wrong, but Sam called him Bucky earlier on in the episode, and he was like, don't call me that.
Yeah.
He got annoyed by it. And then he, obviously then Walker says it to him at the end. And someone said, but and for some reason he doesn't react, but I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he just keeps it inside of like one of them, just side eye. I'm going to remember you said that. I'm going to remember you did that. Yeah.
And I think it's that with Sam, because there is that tension there. There is that you gave up the shield. You're not wielding the shield tension there. So it's kind of like him and Sam kind of, they have a little bit of a rivalry there. Oh, Sam called him Buck. So that's an even extra layer.
That's definitely what Steve did, didn't he? Steve
called
him Buck,
yep. He always called him Buck, and he's like, don't call me
Don't call me that.
He's going to call him that by the end of the series. Come on now. Come on, Buck.
Come on, Buck.
What I really hope doesn't happen though is, we've seen these pieces in the trailers with Sam throwing the shield, them walking away from each other. I hope that's not the last episode.
Yeah, because someone shared on Twitter, didn't they? Like, oh, I've heard that this is the final shot. Like, I'm kind of hoping it's not based on the fact that person tweeted that. If I hadn't seen that tweet and it happened, I'll be like, oh shit. I'd be like, that's a damn good ending. Because I love the bittersweet ending. So if there is that ending of them walking away from each other, that'd be kind of interesting.
Oh man, yeah. I kind of wanted to end with them like getting along and fine, but maybe not.
They've been working with Zemo, and no one gets along after working with Zemo.
That's so true. Oh my God, Steve threw the shield down after working with after the Zemo stuff. So yeah, you're correct by that. Oh man, so we did get to see like Bucky retreat into the mentality of the Winter Soldier in this episode. Just kind of clicking right into that. What do you think about that? Like, do you think it's kind of this, because he does want to get away from it, but do you think it's kind of this like a little, I don't want to say enjoyable, but easy for him to retreat back to that mental mindset?
Yeah, I don't know that he necessarily went full into the Winter Soldier mindset. I think he has control over himself. I think that he does. He has a lot of pent up rage, definitely, but I feel that he's cool. He can hold on to it. What I think might happen is that when he was in that bar and having that fight, we saw people filming it.
Oh, man.
If that ends up on the internet, there's going to be repercussions for him from the US government. And I wonder if, will John Walker and Hoskins, will their mission change to bringing him in, and is that where a conversation, is that where the things will change? I
didn't even think about that, dude. Yeah, damn.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm also kind of like my trail of thought with that is kind of leading me to wonder if War Machine will come back as well. And will he have to play some part in that? I don't know. I don't know if he now rejects the Sokovia Accords. It's still somewhat unclear if the Sokovia Accords are in play. I'm assuming they are, considering that Sharon is still on the run, that Bucky is having to repent through get his pardon, and that Sam has just taken up the work with the military. So yeah, be interesting.
He's breaking rule 2 though.
He is. Well, that's what I mean. He's breaking rule 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
that club fight was breaking the rules. So
yeah, Accords are not like, dang, I didn't even think about that. They're coming for him, man. They gotta be,
especially what will be the rule then of him breaking the rule? Because I'm assuming Madripoor's is on a different continent. They're still in Europe, right? So does his pardoning have jurisdiction there? The fact that they sent over Captain America anyway into Europe to fight, I'm assuming, and that Torres is running operations there, that they have the clearance to do it, but. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Damn, that's something I didn't even think about, man. This is about to be on YouTube. He about to go viral.
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier busted up into the bar. It's about to go viral, dude. And then, wow, yes, that'd be a good showdown between him, John Walker, Hoskins, and Sam, like just head to head potentially. This person says, let's thank Bucky's therapist, because it wasn't for Rule 2, John Walker would be dead in a ditch by now. Oh man, well, I'm sure Bucky just wants to just beat the living mess out of John Walker at this point, because let's be real, this guy's touting around your best friend's shield. Yeah, no way. There's no way he's happy with that.
We're all with Bucky there, aren't we? Let's get that.
Hey, good morning, Tessa. Happy Easter. They hate each other so much. Yes, Sam and Bucky, they just They hate each other so much. Peace out, JHC. Happy Easter. I was hoping to see some X-Men hints in Madripoor. By the way, I don't know if you caught that, but on the gate where the Flag Smashers were busting into, there was an X. And I was like, is this some kind of mutant hint? I know I'm reaching, but man, I was like, there's like this red X with the blue background. So it's not the usual yellow and blue that X-Men have, but I was like, is that kind of a cute little Easter egg? Like, what are we doing here? What are you trying to say?
Like, in fairness to Tyler there, like the whole Madripoor scene, like when they first got there and it was giving us all the establishing shots of like the bars and the nightlife, and I was like, come on, they're sneaking an Easter egg in here somewhere. One of these symbols is something, right? It's got to be. I'm gonna see videos of people with one of those symbols in a red circle in their thumbnail. Like it's coming, right? It's coming. It's got to be there.
Oh my God, you already know the thumbnails, man. That's how they always do it with the red circle and arrow pointing somewhere. That gorilla logo, though, I thought maybe that was something outside the bar because they called it out specifically, and I was like,
they stayed on it for a couple seconds, didn't they? It was a bit I was like, oh, what do I know a gorilla in the MCU? Like, I couldn't think of nothing.
Beast, maybe? I don't know. I couldn't figure out.
Otherwise, it's just M'Baku, really, isn't it? But they've not gone for the like full white gorilla thing with him. So
so I wonder what that's all about. There's got to be some kind of little hint. Like, why would y'all go to Madripoor without mentioning the X-Men? But I just seen that X and I was like, oh my God, is this something X-Men? And I don't think so. But
don't look like it.
Yeah, Tessa's saying they're sprinkling in things for us until we actually get X-Men. That's what I'm saying. Quicksilver and WandaVision, who it turned out to be Ralph Boner, and X-Men, and X on the gate. Like, just quit with the teasing, Marvel. Give us X-Men, please. just do it. Now, I got a question for you that I had seen sprinkled in Tessa's stream yesterday. Do you think it's potential? There's a potential for John Walker to take the serum?
Yeah, if he hasn't taken a form already, because he kind of held himself pretty nicely against the Flag Smashers, and the force with which he was throwing that shield was interesting. I thought.
You think he may have taken it already?
Well, because like when we're throwing the shield, as far as I remember, Cap's the only person that's thrown the shield, and obviously Winter Soldier caught it. Like, surely you can only throw it with that kind of vigor if you've got Super Soldier Serum. Like, it would not make sense to me if just a normal human can throw that shield, because then, what, at least when it comes to strength, what sets Captain America aside with that shield? Obviously, we know what sets Captain America and what sets Steve Rogers aside. Don't get me wrong on that. But yeah, I don't know. It just looked like he held his own a bit too easily. Again, considering Bucky and Sam were shocked. They were shocked, and Bucky as well, who has serum in him. So yeah.
But remember, Howard did make the shield to be light. He made it in the first Avenger and was like, oh, this is like the lightest but most defensive metal I could find was this vibranium. So it was like kind of a lightweight. And I think because we see those shots of Sam like throwing the shield in the trailer. I really hope he doesn't take the serum, because I just feel like I like Sam being the Falcon and being such a brute great force without having to take the serum. I kind of think it would just take away from his character a little bit if he ended up taking the Super Soldier Serum. Now, if it was like, if they happen to play it out in a way where it was like forced into him, but I really don't want Sam to willingly take the Super Soldier Serum. But you bring up a good point about the blow-to-blow exchanges he was having with the Flag Smashers. It did seem like a little almost like, wow, how are you able to like duke it out with these guys? And even Bucky's having a hard time.
Yeah. Because definitely Sam and Lamar were struggling, weren't they? Like, they were really struggling. And that makes sense because they have zero serum in them. And, Bucky was struggling because he was being restrained by a couple guys. But, Walker was holding his own. Yeah. For me, it feels like he might have already taken it, but considering what, because we know that Dr. Nagel had 20 doses, right? And I think they pointed out that 8 of the Flag Smashers are serumed up. Is it 8 or 12?
I want to say 8 of them.
Yeah, but so the numbers, there's how much more is out there, how many more of the Flag Smashers have taken it, but working off of the numbers that we've already been given, I don't know. For me, it's possible, but yeah.
Oh, Chillmonger says the reasons we hate John Walker would transfer over to Sam. Don't want that. Yeah, I'm never gonna hate Sam, admittedly. Like, even if he takes the serum, I'm like, all right, man. Well, hey, now he's a super soldier. Awesome. But I almost think that could even be a conversation with Isaiah Bradley. If they do end up talking, that could really show Sam why he shouldn't take the super soldier serum. I mean, seriously, we look at Captain America as like this always right, always just, but it's like, what about the weaknesses of the serum? What about the side effects that people don't really talk about? The things that it does to you that maybe you wouldn't want it to actually do. That's kind of some of the stuff I wouldn't mind exploring through the eyes of John Walker. Kind of like, okay, are you a little more prone to rage? Like, like, what are some of the disadvantages of the serum? Because it can't just be this perfect drink of syrup and a potion, and all of a sudden there's got to be some kind of weakness there to taking this serum. Because to me, it just feels like right now where we're at, it's like, you're a super soldier, boom, you got super strength, you got enhanced speed, but what are some of the side effects? What are some of the drawbacks? What are some of the, I don't know, negatives of taking the serum? And
could it just be a placebo psychological thing in that there aren't necessarily any side effects for it? Because definitely the way that Nagel was talking, it made it sound like he's completely just like, not necessarily perfected the original, even though he references Erskine, not that he's like necessarily perfected that version of it, but he's perfected maybe the one that came after, the ones that the likes of Bruce Banner was trying to.
Oh man, that didn't go right.
No, it didn't, because the way that Nagel was saying that, I perfect it in the way that it doesn't change your body. We don't, you're not going to be jacked up, but you're going to stay who you are, but you're going to have all the, you're going to have all the strength and whatnot. So maybe it could just be, a placebo psychological thing, as I say, that because you've got this strength in you, an arrogance and a swagger.
Yes, okay. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a physical side effect.
Yeah,
but it could completely be a mental thing.
But this is it, and not that the serum is altering your brain,
right?
So that it gives, as you said, like it enhances rage or it enhances negative personality traits and negative emotions. But just having it makes a person. Do you know what I mean? Just they're like, I have the serum now, so I can do this.
Exactly. And you know what? That right there is a little bit of what I was trying to get at, but you said it incredibly perfectly. It's that it changes a person to become worse, and it's not even, like you were saying, it's not even a brain thing. It's not even necessarily altering anything physically, but it's just your mentality suddenly changes now that you're confident enough to have, because you have the serum, you can run fast, you could punch faster, you punch much harder, lift up things, you got super strength at this point. Essentially, it might drive somebody to becoming mad with power.
Yeah, exactly.
Good comment here from Tyler Calvert. By the way, happy Easter. Hello. I'd bet on John Walker taking the serum and going from Captain America to U.S. agent by the end of the series. That makes sense for him since he is U.S. agent in the comments. And he's not a bad guy, but he's not necessarily
worthy
Captain America. Like he's not Steve Rogers. Yeah, I could see him going rogue, kind of, because it's like where he's at now. I think he's starting to even figure it out. I'm not Cap.
Yeah.
And he says, he says in that interview, of course, he's not Banner, he's not this, he's not Iron Man. But that was an interview. Like, he's just trying to put on a face. But I think after some more encounters, he's going to slowly start figuring it out. Like, this isn't me. And even, maybe he'll even give the shield to Sam. and say it's more rightful in your hands than mine. I mean, it would be a good change for his character because we all hating on Cap right now. It's like, not our Cap every Friday, baby. Like, that's not our guy.
I see you and Amanda just like spamming that hashtag every Friday.
Every Friday, bro. I cannot stand that John Walker, man. I'm like, look, you are not Cap, but I do like Wyatt Russell in the role. And
he's smashing it.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. And I do think that, Tyler, that's a good comment. I think he could head that way. The scientist said it magnifies you back in the first film. If you're a good guy, you're a gooder guy. Okay,
nice.
Great. So that plays exactly to your point. If you're a bad dude, you become worse.
Yeah. But that's it. But I think like what Chumang is saying there is that the scientists were saying that the serum has the direct effect, on making you a good guy. And I'm just wondering if the Nagel serum, he's negated that and it's just physical enhancements.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Because the super soldier serum in the comics goes through so many different iterations. I would only have to assume it's the same here. Well, yeah, because Banner, they tried like a version with him. And then Luke Cage isn't the super soldier serum, but it's some kind of serum based off that. So there's like all these different iterations. And it's like, okay, at this point, Nagel's has to be like the perfect one, essentially, like having been through so many generations, I'm sure. Tyler says death seems to be the biggest side effect. What's going on, Ryan O'Toole? Happy Easter, man.
Hello.
But John Walker, let's bring it back to him. Do we think he's going to willingly give that shield up? Or do you think it's going to be a battle or let's steal the shield? Or do you think there's going to be a moment where he realizes I'm not Cap, Sam, you're the guy? Or is he going to be like, no, I'm fighting for this shield to the end?
Yeah. If there's realization within him, I feel it will be more of a personal revelation that maybe, yes, as you say, he just realizes he ain't up for it. But how do we get to that? I can only really see it maybe through some kind of public humiliation, or so something public,
right,
that makes him go, shit, yeah, okay, yeah, this shield can't be mine. Otherwise, he'll have to do something just really bad that the government have no choice but to take him out. When I say take him out, I don't mean kill him. I mean just
it's like woo
to take the shield from him and be like, we thought you were the guy, but you're not the guy. I don't know. I mean, obviously because we've seen through the trailers, something's got to give. So how we get there, I don't know. Will he personally go, this ain't me anymore? I hope that he doesn't die. I will say this.
No, I don't want that either.
And I hope that also Bucky doesn't kill him. Also because I just don't know what that would mean for Bucky's character. Like, if we're setting him up to go onto this path of redemption, I want to see Bucky fulfill that and succeed.
Right.
And I think, killing the guy that replaces Steve, even though no matter how that person got there, it just wouldn't feel right. It would just feel like it would feel like Barney Stinson in the final episode of How I Met Your Mother. All this work to then just go back to what you used to be. I
don't think Bucky would kill him, because like where we've come with Bucky is there seems to be the mental restraint. Like, I'm not going to return to being the Winter Soldier, and that would just be a complete 180 of what he's been trying to do these last couple years. So I don't think he'll necessarily kill him. A confrontation, though, I could see he would get dusted by Bucky. Bucky would tear him up.
Yeah, and maybe that could be it. And maybe then that would bleed into what Tyler was saying, that Walker might not get the serum till later. Maybe it could be a case of he goes face to face with Bucky. Bucky beats him, takes the shield. And then, John Walker's like, right, I need to get, I've heard there's some serum on the market, one of them 20 vials, I'm going to get that.
That could be it. Yeah, I mean, the driving point to getting him to take the serum. Ooh, there's
to
just so many things that can happen.
reclaim the shield. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Ooh, oh my god, a fight for the shield. Like and then it's kind of like, where does Zemo play in that layer, that plot line? Like,
right.
It's very possible that he could even be the trigger point to him getting the serum. Oh, you couldn't beat Bucky Barnes. You couldn't even stand up, and you're Captain America.
Zemo could very easily be in a position to work them all against each other. It's what he does. It's what he does. It's how he's been set up, man. It's how he's been set up.
All right, so I just want to ask you some final thoughts. What do you think about like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier so far? Are you satisfied with how it's going? Do you think it could be a little stronger of a series? Like, just kind of overall, how are you feeling about it so far? Are you really enjoying it? Like as much as you thought you would be enjoying it?
Yeah, I'd say that I am. It was my most anticipated Phase 4 MCU project. So, you can see just kind of in the background here.
Yeah,
he's here. Yeah, I think I'm very much enjoying it, and I really am looking forward to where it's going to go. I think just as we said, like the only thing for me that really needs to be improved is just to explain the flag splashes a bit more, and hopefully, this episode coming up, we kind of delve a bit more back into Sam and to Bucky. It was nice to just establish Zemo again and establish Sharon again, and I'm happy for that. But now I'm ready for us to, everyone's here. Now let's have an incredible second half of the show. Everything's set up now. For me, everything is set up. We've set if episode 4 sets some things up a bit more, I'll be a bit disappointed because I feel like I've got everything I need now. Now I want to see it explode. I want to see it go.
Absolutely. We've put on all the tires. Now it's time to drive. Like,
exactly.
At this point, everything, like you were saying, everything's set up. Let's go, man. Let's just hit the gas now.
And because we've got 3 more hours to go. Like we got a whole film to go. Like this is with cliffhanger with 3 more potential cliffhangers. So I'm good. Let's go.
And I said I wasn't going to compare. I love me some WandaVision. That was my most anticipated MCU project for Phase 4, so I can't say, I like it more than WandaVision, but I will say I'm thoroughly enjoying this series so far. I'm really liking the characters, getting more Sam and Bucky, getting more of their story that we never got to explore. Honestly, man, even in the Captain America stories, we explored Steve a little bit, but not to this point. Going to therapy with family. We haven't explored Marvel characters like this before.
No,
and that's what I love so much about these TV shows is that we get to explore layers of these characters that we never got to explore before. Realistic views of these characters, because let's be real, you came back from a blip 5 years ago. Like, you're gonna need therapy after being that and the Winter Soldier. Oh man, but Elliott, it's been so great having you on the channel, man. It's always a pleasure having you. I love collaborating with you, man. This definitely won't be the last. Let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your channel.
So you can find me over at Hakuna MaChatter here on YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hakuna MaChatter as well. On the channel, I talk all things positive about diversity and representation in film and TV, so I'm sure you can guess why I am freaking out about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I actually kind of don't know what is coming up on the channel. I've got a few collabs lined up, but they're going to be a couple weeks before they come out. I actually haven't sat down to decide what's coming out this week. I just finished a rewatch of Star Wars Rebels, so I might do a video on that, because I finished a rewatch of the Clone Wars a couple of months back, and I did a video on that. So, if y'all like Star Wars Rebels and you want to hear why I think it's better than the Clone Wars, then maybe that will be something coming up this week.
Wow. Better than Clone Wars. All right. I'll be looking forward to that.
And having also just rewatched both of them as well, that position is definitely solidified for me. So,
Joe Monger brings up a nice, good point here. We explored Zemo's dancing as well.
That's a good point. And you know what? It's just a much more complete character now for it. as well.
Oh man, yeah. So loving that. Couple good final comments. Almost think Bucky will try to steal the shield and try to battle John Walker, who will have the serum in him. Zemo might be the power broker. Yeah, I'm thinking that about Zemo. That would be crazy if John already had the serum. That would be problematic as hell.
Yeah.
Yep, and we got Wakanda. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. A big happy Easter to all who celebrate, and thank you so much, Elliott, for coming to the channel, man. It's great talking with you, my friend.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you very much.